This video is created by Nihar Dash from YouTube. This video is created by Nihar Dash from YouTube. The top 13 musical instruments of the Indian subcontinent written by Nihar Dash for public domain purpose. Only the music of the Indian subcontinent is usually divided into two major traditions of classical music: Hindustani music of North India and Carnatic music of South India, although many regions of India also have their own musical traditions that are independent of these. Both Hindustani and Carnatic music use the system of ragas, sets of pitches and small motives for melody construction, and tala for rhythm. Ragas form a set of rules and patterns around which a musician can create his or her unique performance. Likewise, tala is a system of rhythmic structures based on the combination of stressed and unstressed beats. Within these rhythmic structures, musicians 1996.100.1 can create their own rhythmic patterns, building off the compositional styles of others. Any of the main differences between North Indian and South Indian music is the increased influence of Persian music and musical instruments in the north. From the late 12th century through the rise of British occupation, North India was under the control of a Muslim minority that was never able to extend its sphere of influence to South India. During this time, the music of North India began to acquire and adapt to the presence of Persian language, music, and musical instruments, such as the setar, from which the sitar got its name, the kamanch, 1998.72, and santur, which became popular in Kashmir, and the rabab, alternately known as rebab and rubab, which preceded the sarod. New instruments were introduced, including the tabla and sitar, 1999.399, which soon became the most famous Indian musical instruments worldwide. Legend has it that the tabla was formed by splitting a pakabaj drum in half, with the larger side becoming the bayan and the smaller side the dahini. The barrel-shaped pakabaj drum, which was the ancestor of both the tabla and the mridangam, has been depicted in countless paintings and prints. New genres of music were formed as well, such as Khyal and Qawwali, that combine elements of both Hindu and Muslim musical practice. Here are the 13 Indian musical instruments. 1. Kanjira. Kanjari. The kanjira is a frame drum of South India. It consists of a skin, usually iguana, stretched and pasted on a circular wooden frame. There are often 3 or 4 slots in the side of the frame, in which bell metal jingle discs are suspended from metal crossbars. The name Kanjira is related to the Kanjari and Kanjani of North and East India and Nepal. The Kanjira is tuned to various pitches by wetting the skin. It is held at the bottom of the frame by the left hand, which also varies the tension of the skin, and is beaten with the fingers of the right hand. 2. Kamanch. The kamanch is one of the world's earliest known bowed instruments. It has been altered and changed as it has traveled to other parts of the world. 1998.72. Some argue that the kamanch is the predecessor of many other stringed instruments such as the rabab, the sarangi, and the Chinese erhu. 3. Mridangam. The mridangam is an elongated barrel-shaped drum found predominantly in South India. 1986.467.18. It is derived from the pakavij and is used as the primary rhythmic accompaniment in Carnatic music as well as in religious kirtan music. In the East Bengal, Odisha, this barrel-shaped drum is known as the khol. 4. Murali. The murali is a transverse flute made of bamboo. It is used in a variety of musical genres and is often associated with the Hindustani, traditionally made from a single hollow shaft of bamboo with 6 or 7 finger holes. Some modern designs come in ivory, fiberglass and various metals. The 6-hole instrument covers 2.5 octaves of music. The bansuri is typically between 30 cm, 12 in, and 75 cm, 30 in length, and the thickness of a human thumb. Any end is closed, and few centimeters from the closed end is its blowhole. Longer bansuris feature deeper tones and lower pitches. The traditional design features no mechanical keys, and the musician creates the notes they want by tapping the various finger holes. 5. Pakavij. The pakavij is a barrel-shaped drum with 2 heads, each of which contains tuning paste, or siyahi. The history of the pakavij is unknown, yet as the predecessor of both the Hindustani tabla drums and the mridangam of Carnatic music, it served as the primary accompaniment for much of Indian classical music. It appears in the musical iconography of Hindu religious painting and in the artworks of the royal Muslim courts of the Mughal Empire. 6. Rabab. The rabab is a stringed instrument with a skin-covered resonator that can be bowed or plucked depending on performance tradition. It is found in various forms throughout North Africa, the Near East, South Asia, and Central Asia. Similar to the way the setar and the veena were adapted to eventually become what is known today as the sitar, the rabab was adapted to become the sarod. However, there are many musicians in India today who still play the rabab, and it is quite popular in several music genres. 7. Sahnai. Shehnai. The sahnai is a double reed instrument of North India and Nepal. In South India, a double reed instrument called an agazvaram is used. Both instruments have 7 equidistant fingerholes and no thumbhole. Frequently, the instrument's flared open end is made of metal, while its body is made of wood or bamboo. However, they are not exclusively made in this fashion. 8. Saranga. Sarangi is a bowed stringed instrument with a skin-covered resonator, 89.4.200. The typical sarangi is made by hand, usually from a single block of tun wood about 66 to 69 centimeters long, 46.34.43. The 3 playing strings are made of goat gut, and the sympathetic strings, usually as many as 36, though the number varies, of brass and/or steel. However, the design of sarangas varies from region to region, 1982.143.2. For example, the Nepalese sarangi is generally much smaller than its Indian counterpart, and not all sarangas have sympathetic strings. 9. Sarod. The sarod is a relatively new instrument to South Asia, having been around for less than 200 years. The sarod is a plucked stringed instrument with a skin-covered resonator and sympathetic strings. Like the sitar, it is primarily used in Hindustani music and is accompanied by the tabla. 10. Setar. The word setar means 3 strings. Other instruments in this family include the 2-string dutar and the single-stringed ektar. As Indian musicians adopted the setar, they added more and more strings. Early sitars, which evolved from the setar, have 6 strings, while more contemporary ones include 6 playing strings and 13 sympathetic strings. A Persian setar in the museum's collection is a miniature that was made primarily for the purpose of decoration. Many such instruments exist in India. 11. Tabla. The tabla is actually 2 drums played by the same performer. Both drums have compound skins onto which a tuning paste, or sayahi, is added to help generate the wide variety of tones these drums can produce. The bayan is the larger of the 2 drums, and is generally made of metal or pottery. The sayahi on the bayan is off-center, which allows the performer to add variable pressure on the skin, changing the pitch of the instrument with the palm of his or her hand, while striking it with the fingertips. The smaller drum is called a dahini, or sometimes referred to as the tabla. Dahini are usually made of heavy lathe-turned rosewood and provide much higher pitch sounds than does the bayan. 12. Tambura. The tambura is a long-stringed instrument made of light hollow wood, with either a wooden or a gourd resonator. It is typically used in accompaniment with other instruments, providing a drone pitch. Some of the tamburas in the museum's collection are not full-sized instruments, but rather miniatures created for their aesthetic appearance. The artistic craftsmanship on the inlay in these objects is beautiful. India has a long history of creating musical instruments as decorative objects, and that tradition is represented in the museum's collection. 13. Veena. Along with the pakhavaj, the veena is one of the most commonly depicted instruments in Indian iconography. The veena has taken many forms in both South and North India. In North India, it was called the bin or the rudraveena, and was the predecessor of the sitar. It was often built of 2 large gourd resonators connected by a piece of bamboo, with frets held on with wax. Most of the veenas depicted in iconography are rudraveenas. In the South, the veena, or Saraswati veena, continues to be the most popular stringed instrument in classical music. In its basic shape, the veena is a hollow wooden stringed instrument with 2 gourd resonators, though there can often be more than 2, or sometimes only 1 gourd resonator. The gatuvadhyam, or chitraveena, is another important instrument in Karnataka music. Unlike the rudraveena and the Saraswati veena, the gatuvadhyam has no frets, and is played with a slide using a method similar to that of the Hawaiian slide guitar.